Hello, my loves, and welcome back. So today in this video, we're talking about the types of anxiety in cats. I'm going to talk a little bit about the difference between stress and anxiety so that you can understand what anxiety is for your feline friend. So if you haven't already subscribed to the Naturally Cats YouTube channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button along with the bell to get notifications of my new releases so you can help your cat with every video. So I've been dealing with an anxious cat for about 6 years, and he has taught me a lot about stress and anxiety, and that's what I wanted to share with you today. So let's kick off with talking about the difference between stress and anxiety. So stress is normal. Now, just bear with me. Having a stressful reaction to something happens, in our day-to-day lives, not just for us humans, but for cats as well. And having a certain amount of stress is good for a cat. Now, let me explain what that means. Being able to deal with changes in the home or certain short stressful events gives the cat the capacity to deal with change in their environment. Okay. If they're never exposed to any type of stress, you're going to have a particularly anxious cat. So, stress happens when a cat experiences, a challenging situation or an event. It's something that's usually caused by like an external trigger. So it's usually short term and it's something that the cat can deal with and cope with. Okay. So it's something that happens like as a one off. And when it's happened, it's gone. The cat returns to their normal sort of, their version of normal. And their day-to-day isn't hugely impacted. Okay, so a type of stress could be, let me think. So going to the vets. Everybody knows most cats don't like going to the vets. Now, for most cats, those vet visits are like once or twice a year. Okay, so the carry box comes out, your cat starts to think, oh God, here we go. And they'll start to get stressed, then they're in the car, etc., etc. Now, unfortunately, if you've got a poorly sick cat, then that's not going to be the case. Then we might have a situation about anxiety, and I'll come on to that in just a minute. So stress is something that happens like now and again, okay? And they are single events that your cat can cope with and can deal with. For example, a badger coming into my garden. I know this is going to sound crazy, but when we've had badgers in the garden or deer along the back fence, Leo came home the other night. He had the biggest, puffiest tail. And I was like, buddy, what happened? I quickly flicked the outside light on to see a badger walk across the back garden. So he came in, he settled down, he was on high alert looking out the window, but he was home, he was safe. And within about 20 minutes, half an hour after the badger had gone, like he was fine. He came and gave me brushed against my leg, and then he went back out. Okay, so that's a kind of a stressful event for a cat. Now, anxiety it's more psychological. Okay, it's the kind of constant anticipation or apprehension that things are going to happen. Okay, so if we think about us like with humans, I might be stressed if I've got to go and travel to an external event. Okay, like I don't do it very often. I wouldn't really look forward to it. I'd be a bit nervous, worried, and stressed about it, but I'm not anxious about it because I don't do it every day. I don't do it every week. Anxiety for me is the boys, watching them eat. Every time they go up to a plate of food, I have an anxiety reaction because I'm holding my breath to see if they will eat or not. So I'm constantly kind of worried that they're going to eat or not, what's going on with that? And I manage that, and that's a whole other video. So when it comes to our cats, there are different types of anxiety, and that's what I wanted to talk about today, which is the prolonged impact of apprehension, shall we say. So in my experience, there are 5 different types of anxiety with cats. Now, there may be more. I am going to cover 5, and I'm sure in later down the line I will do another video, but I wanted to talk about 5 so that you could see if your cat experiences any of these, and we could talk about how to help your cat with them. So the first one is, as I've said, is vet-induced anxiety. Now, this isn't for cats that go to the vet once or twice a year. These are for cats that are like chronically ill, okay? And you're going to the vets perhaps weekly. If that is the case for you, I'm really sorry you're experiencing that. one of the things you can do with your cat is to help them kind of get acclimatized to that routine almost of going to the vets. And by that, I mean it's making it as much as you can a positive experience. Now, you might be thinking, what the hell, Julianne? So it could be that you leave the carrier down 24/7. You don't just get it out and put it away when you're going to the vets of that morning. It could be that you create a positive association with that carrier. So you flick treats into it. So the cat knows that when they go in there, it's not just a question of the door is shut behind them and then they go to the vets. It could also be about talking to your vet and discussing with them how anxious your cat can be. And is there any way that they can support you with that? Do they have cat only consultation rooms? Can you go at the beginning or the end of the day where it's not as noisy or not as busy? I will do another video on all of these types of anxiety in more detail so that you've got more hints and tips, but I wanted to give you a couple of things for each one. So vet-induced anxiety, it's really about having conversations with your family, with your vets, medical practitioners, about how best you can support your cat. So for example, with Leo, he does not travel very well. Even when we go to the vets, like say twice a year, he trembles when he goes in there. He has to be hidden. He's completely stressed. He goes into shutdown mode. It's really heartbreaking to see. So at my previous vets, there were times when I wouldn't need to take him in. So if he needed a repeat medication, I would have a phone consultation with the vet. She would ask me a few questions. I'd talk to her and tell her about how he's doing. So they didn't have to see him every 2 months to get a new inhaler or whatever it may be. So have those conversations with your vet and see how you can support your cat with that. Okay, the second one I wanted to talk about is human-related anxiety. Now, this may seem strange, but oh gosh, I've had this with Leo. So he was feral for the first 18 months of his life, and I don't know what happened to him in that time, but he is not very trusting of humans. Now, I can have lap cuddles or chest cuddles or pillow cuddles from him, and he's snoring away. But nobody else, no one else gets to see that side of him. He is very untrusting and he gets very anxious when people come to the house, whether that's an Amazon delivery person, whether that's a friend coming over for coffee, whether that's my sister popping in to pick me up to go for a walk, whatever it may be, he is anxious. He is stressed. I now tell him if someone's coming over, if my dad comes to put some pictures up for me, I'll tell him that he's coming over in a couple of hours or he's here so that Leo can do what he needs to do to feel safe, which is to go outside. So I know that Leo has anxiety about other humans. I know that when other people come to our home, Leo is stressed and anxious. So I give him the capacity to do what he needs to feel safe. Now for him, that is to go outside. So it could be that before I knew that about Leo and accepted that about him, he would deal with this situation quite stressfully because he didn't know that people were coming. There would be a doorbell ring or people would show up and he didn't know how long they were going to be here for. Whereas now I talk to him and tell him. So we've been able to reduce his stress and anxiety about this situation. But if you've got cats that are anxious around other humans, perhaps they don't like men or they don't like women or children, again, find out what it is that's going on with your cat. Is it certain types of people? Do they smell a certain way? Do they have dogs, perhaps? Find out what almost the trigger is that brings in those anxious behaviors with your cat, and then you can find a way to support them. So it might be that you use botanical remedies. It might be that you have herb gardens down to support your cat, or you ask when people come to the house that they spray some hydrosols around their ankles to enable the cat to feel a bit more safe. So human-related anxiety can come from a variety of almost triggers. It could be, hang on, my computer went black. It could be that that the cat has been mistreated. It could be that they've had trauma. They don't trust very well. It could be a whole raft of things. One of the things I would say is if you're dealing with a cat that has anxiety about other humans is think about getting a copy of my cat chakra book. So in there, I talk to you about different chakras that can be blocked and impacted by trauma. And I also give you ways to help your cat with supporting those energy centers, which helps them to feel safe and grounded. So you can get a copy from my website, naturallycats.co.uk. So have a think about, again, having those conversations with those other humans. So my family know that they very rarely see Leo. They don't get frustrated. They used to. Oh, for goodness sake, it's just me. Why is he so reactive? Why is he running away? They would think like, what's wrong with me, as in them. And I shared with them what was going on and what he needed and how he reacts to people. So now they're used to coming in. They actually wait by the front door. They don't always ring the bell, and they'll allow me to give him space to let him go outside, and then they will come in. So they're understanding of his needs, and we can work together to support him because he's anxious because people are here in the house. Now, when they've gone, obviously they leave a smell. Everybody smells, hopefully some better than others. Everybody has their unique scent, and Leo can smell that in the house. So again, I will do things to support his anxiety, to reassure him that the person's gone. I might spray some hydrosols so that things smell like him. I might rub his cat blanket on the edge of the sofa or something to give him reassurance that everything is kind of settled down. He doesn't need to be anxious because no one's here anymore. Okay, so another one is other animal related anxiety. So anxiety about other animals in the home. Now, this generally comes from cats that have been bullied, attacked, or victimized by other animals. So it could be that you've got a dog in the home. Maybe the cat and dog don't get on, or it could be a multi-cat home. But generally, it's where the cats don't feel safe. So in some way, shape, or form, they don't feel safe around the other cats or other animals, I should say. So this really is a question of looking at what can you do in the environment to support your cat. Do they need shelves to be able to get away? Do they need spaces to hide away? Do you need to separate the animals? Is it really best for everybody involved to have multiple animals? And I don't say that lightly, but it's about understanding what is going on for the cat and how you can support them with that. So yes, you can create positive associations between animals. You can feed them together. You can do joint play. Sometimes it doesn't work, and I don't really want to say that, but it's true. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes cats are better as single animals. Sometimes cats won't adjust to other animals. It's fact. It's like us humans, So have a think about how your cat is impacted by other animals in their home. How much anxiety are they showing and displaying? Are they hiding under the bed every single day? Are they not eating? Are they trembling? Are they weeing and pooing around the house inappropriately? Like if those things are going on, it's drastic measures, peeps. It's time for drastic action. That cat is not happy. They are in a constant state of stress and anxiety, and something needs to change. If you've got a situation where a cat is perhaps a bit aggressive to other cats, or perhaps the dog walks past and your cat will swipe at them, again, there's ways to support your cat with this. You can do behavior modification, and you can support them with creating a positive association and a positive relationship with those other animals. It's about finding what motivates your cat. Are they motivated by food? Are they motivated by love and cuddles or play? And then you use those tools to help them. So if a cat likes food, every time the dog walks past, give your cat a treat. And I know, again, it may sound simple, but sometimes the most simple things are the most effective. So again, I'm going to pause there because otherwise I could go off on topic, and I've got a couple of others to share with you. So if you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to come into the comments below and let me know. I'd love to hear from the Naturally Cats community. Share with me which part has resonated with you or which action you're going to take to help your cat. Okay, so the last two I wanted to cover are food anxiety and separation anxiety. Now, I will be doing definitely other videos on these because I'm experiencing them with my boys, and I like to think I can help people to not experience what I have. So food anxiety, this is where your cat is anxious, it sounds obvious, about their food. But it could be, now this is where you need to become a bit of a detective, excuse me, and look at what are they actually anxious about? Are they anxious about where you're feeding them? Do they need to be higher up when they're fed? Do they need to be in a little black hole when they're fed? Are they anxious because other cats come or other animals come and eat their food, so they gobble up their food really quickly? Or perhaps they walk over to their food, have a sniff and walk away. So this is different to a food aversion, having anxiety about food. It could be that you're only feeding them like once a day. So cats, generally do better with small meals in short intervals. So it could be that your cat will go to their food and gobble up everything that they need to, and then actually feel a bit unwell, but they get anxious throughout the day because there's no other options to access any food. So think about what you're feeding, when you're feeding, and how you're feeding your cat. Feeding your cat in a space that's convenient for you isn't always what's best for the cat. So I know that baby Max likes to sleep up high. I know he likes to eat up high. So generally, he doesn't eat. If I put food on the floor, he won't really eat it. If I put it even like on a little ottoman or a stool or something, he will. He has its own feeding station. I don't feed him like in random places around the home. Because again, cats like routine and consistency. So they eat in the same space every single day. Now, Leo, he wouldn't eat if I put his food on the top of the island that we've got. He wouldn't eat. He needs to be able to have a space where he can go and hide away. So there's a plate of food down. If the doorbell rings unexpectedly or there's a bang or a noise, Leo has like a split second where he can go and hide behind the sofa where he feels safe. So food anxiety can be related to where you're feeding your cat or how you're feeding your cat. It could also be connected to the fact that they've got a whisker sensitivity, so they don't like bowls, perhaps they like plates. When Pickle was put to sleep, we had some lovely ceramic bowls, a good half a dozen. Tried them with Leo when we first got him. He would pick up a bite of food and take it over to the side and just eat it off the floor, which drove me crazy. Then I realized that he had a whisker sensitivity and he has everything on a plate. So have a think about, what is your cat showing you when it comes to eating? And if you're not sure what it is, if you're not sure what the answer is, change one thing. Change the height, change the bowl type, change the frequency, but just change one thing at a time, because if you change more than one thing, you're never going to know what works. So give it a go and see what your cat shows you, okay? And the last one I wanted to talk about is separation anxiety. Now, cats have this because they are sentient beings. Like, that's the simple fact of it. They are sentient, sensitive, unique beings, and they need connection, they need interaction, they need love and support. They are not aloof, they are not independent. Yes, they are more so perhaps than dogs. However, cats need and thrive on interaction with humans just as much as dogs, just as much as we do. They don't do well if they're left alone for long periods of time. Yes, some in general may be better with it than others, but 90% of the time, cats need interaction. They need love. So separation anxiety can occur if the cat isn't able to regulate their nervous system when the human's not around, if they don't have what for them feels like love and support in the home, if the human's not around. Now, one of the ways you can deal with this is to basically get your smell as much around the house as you can. So, like I said to you before, everybody smells. Everybody has a unique scent. And what your cat will find comforting is your scent, which might be why when you go to work, your cat wheezes on your bed, because that is where your scent is concentrated. So there are different things. Again, I'll do this in another video that you can do. Like, playing calming music doesn't work for every cat. Okay, but playing calming music is an option. I would recommend putting herbs down. So in my other book, The Aromatic Cat, which again, you can get a signed copy from my website, I talk in there about herbs that help with anxiety. And when you put herbs down for your cat, you give them the opportunity to self-select, to self-regulate. Okay, so like if you're feeling stressed and anxious, I don't know what's going to make you feel better. Only you know what's going to make you feel better. I could leave you like a lovely scented candle, but if someone did that for me, it would make me feel sick. I don't like strong smells. So when you put down dried herbs and flowers, it gives the cat the chance to support themselves emotionally. Okay, now that's what we're trying to do if a cat has got separation anxiety. So I'm going to leave it there because this is nearly a 20-minute video and it was meant to be 12. So I've kind of overrun, but I wanted to talk about the different types of anxiety. So I hope that that's helped. And just to recap, we've got vet anxiety, other human anxiety, other animal anxiety, food anxiety, and separation anxiety. So I've also got another video about how to help your anxious cat, which I'll pop a link below. And there is a whole playlist about help for anxious cats if you're interested. So check that out on my channel. Like I said, come into the comments. I love to hear from the Naturally Cats community. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.